What's wrong with that? The unemployment rate in the city of Niagara Falls is higher than the state average. The state average is about 9%. The state average of unemployment for African Americans is about 14%. I can take you to neighborhoods not too far from here, unfortunately not within walking distance, because they put this school out too far away from my people. But I can take you to neighborhoods where the unemployment rate is over 50%. What's wrong with that? Okay, so we have some systemic problems. I think we have to start with this discussion and resolve and confront some of these issues so that gentlemen like this can begin to understand why they are where they are and why we are where we are. We don't need to be here any longer. Let's have this conversation.
Thank you so much.
I just want to make a statement that,
yes, sir.
As far as leadership in Niagara Falls goes, 2 out of 5 of the council members are African American.
All right, 2 out of 5 of the council members are African American here in the city. All right.
That's a true story, true statement. I just want to say I'm Charlene Jones. I'm a student here at NCCC. I left Niagara Falls, say 20 years ago. I returned because my mother got ill. I stayed here. I have a young son that's in school. Niagara Falls, and I want anybody that lives in Niagara Falls, the city of Niagara Falls, compared to when I grew up and where I lived and where I came up. This city is gone to hell. And guess what? If the people don't get up, stand up, and speak up, and come together, it ain't gonna be no Niagara Falls. There could never be another Niagara Falls the way it was when I grew up. I mean, that city is so torn apart, and I'm so glad that you're here, and the chairman got up and spoke about the city of Niagara Falls. Because, I mean, everywhere you go, see, I lived in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia, and I see there is black people that's qualified for civil service jobs. I drove for FedEx Express for 10 years. My point being, pardon me? Pardon me? The mayor of Atlanta, no he's not. No. You made me lose my point, but anyway, I came back to Niagara Falls, and the way it is, everywhere I go, and it was unbelievable to me. There's no black people working in certain things. Now see, me living in Atlanta, Georgia, I could walk in a grocery store. You would see multiple, just local grocery store. Now, you walk in the hospitals, you would see multiples of Afro-Americans. My point being, in Niagara Falls, these people has got to come to grips, because guess what, it won't be none for black or white.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have very quickly with 2 people who are remaining right here.
Good evening, afternoon. Brother Tahaka, just another brother in the struggle. One thing regarding this comment, El Hafali Shabazz said that, he said if a man is stabbed in the back, you can't talk about progress until the knife comes all the way out and the wound heals up. Right. And he also made analogies about people not eating, but calling us diners. And so right now, the African people, or so-called minorities, we're not eating. You know, the president is eating, right? But the people in the projects in Niagara Falls and Buffalo, Brooklyn, we're not eating. Okay, so it's premature to really talk about a lot of these things that's changed. But what I wanted to get to is 9/11, because, you know, when I look at it, I read through the loose change, looked at the footnotes, and to me, we got a larger problem, because if people pull wool over our eyes and they had a public demolition of a building, and everybody's believing that this building came down from some planes, when the evidence and other things, if you're not familiar with it, don't look at me like I'm crazy, you have to do the research too, because I'm on the other side. I'm convinced now, because I took the science background, and from what I see and what's going on, first of all, I can't hardly believe anything, because I know Columbus didn't discover America. So I just go, I know they have a pattern of lying to me from the top. So what I want to know, if you're being lied to from the top, and I understand that, and the one sitting next to the one that's on the top understands it, but they can't say anything about it, I'm saying, where do we go from here? So I don't know where your perception of that is, okay? But clearly I understand that is capable of having a public demolition of a building because steel skyscrapers have to fall down, they don't come down in the footprint. And see, that's my fundamental problem now. We're being lied to. You can't find Osama bin Laden, but you found Fred Hampton. It don't make no sense to me. The guy come all the way from Africa with no bags in his hands to bomb up a plane in Detroit. I mean, if I'm walking, they gonna stop. I've been stopped many times, and I'm a grown man, taxpayer, family man, and everything. So I mean, to me, it's something's not adding up to me.
Okay. All right. Thanks. No doubt about it. Thank you, sir.
Told you, boy, good.
I'm from Buffalo. You know, I admire you.
It's not working.
Okay, I admire you standing up, just like.
Turn the microphone. Can we turn the microphone on?
Back on.
Text. Okay, I'm from Buffalo, so I don't live here in Niagara Falls. I don't know what your issue is in Niagara Falls. But I've been on the planet Earth 66 years, and I'm familiar with racism. What's happening, we have institutional racism that you may not be familiar with. Here's what it is. When something has been going on so long, and it's still going on, as individuals think that's the way it's supposed to be. Let me tell you about a situation in Buffalo about fire people, and I'm not going to make this short. We have civil service. It's the #1 racist institution in America, the civil service institution, civil service exam. We have a situation, firemen took the civil service exam, 2 blacks, they ranked 7 and 8. They picked a young white girl who ranked 289. Well, but that's an institution. You know why she got picked on really? Because her family is a traditional thing. I'm gonna leave that. The construction field, building trade.
Oh.
I'm a live example. I got a construction job at 49. It was political, based on who I knew. Never filled out an application. Only papers I filled out was my insurance forms, beneficiaries. But it's about who you know. See? So you have to understand what's going on here. When it's institutional, it's like, but it's not okay. I admire you for bringing this discussion up. Because this is the way we overcome some of this stuff. It's not about a lot of this black. We just don't understand. Last point. That's what's happening with our president right now. Let's get real. It's racism. It's 1 and 1 is 2. It's racism. Okay? Let's be real. Excuse me.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
Racism.
Good afternoon, family Dyson. It's been wonderful spending this afternoon with you and with all these folks here and having this wonderful exchange. Piggybacking on what you said about our president and that errant police officer. I am a retired police officer. I was a police officer for 21 years in the city of Buffalo. Civil service, okay, much to their chagrin. Okay, and they're going to need to do something with affirmative action again because they stopped with the quota some years ago. The department is going back to a white department. But the first thing you learn in the police department as a young officer is that there is a chain of command. What higher command than the President of the United States? The things that this officer did and the things that he said, I didn't vote for him, about our president would have never been tolerated by a white president. It wouldn't have even been tolerated by his superior officer. So that just lets you know how deeply ingrained this is in us, that he felt that he needed to have this man to his home, that he felt that he needed to apologize. Skip Gates should have never been arrested in his own home. Quite the contrary, this man, in coming in, if he had come in, he would have been a burglar and could have been treated as such, shot. It's not illegal to kill somebody when they're entering your home, to commit a crime within, and he was not an invited guest. Okay? So that's enough on that point. I just wanted to let people know. Okay? My question, Dr. Dyson, is, where is Neil Bush? Does anybody remember Neil Bush? He was instrumental in the bankrupting of the savings and loans in the early 90s. He is President George W. Bush's son, and George W. Bush's brother.